Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the most mini electrifying podcast in sports entertainment. Welcome to the Under the Ring podcast presents NXT on deck. It's me, your boy, Kendrade the Cleaner, here with the former champ, the man behind the boards, Mongo.
Well, hi, it's me, Mongo. No, what's going on, y'all? What's going on, Cook? I'm also playing that cookies, so you know what? I do appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Good luck. Good luck with all. that's a hard
Is
ass
that a
game.
hold on? I was about to say, is that a game where you got to pay for extra shit in the game, or can you just play
No,
it out?
no, it's
Oh,
just
okay.
straight up. It's just straight
Oh,
up.
okay.
The only
Mhm.
it's regular price, and if you want to get the soundtrack, it's like an extra $10. Aside from that, it's just the whole thing's there.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
That's
That's
the
what
kind of
I'm
shit.
talking about.
That's the kind of shit I support right there. That's just put the whole fucking game in there for $60. Cool. Yes, fuck it. Yeah, okay, I'll buy it.
Right. Like I'll
It's,
spend the 60 if it's getting everything. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
I'm not gonna do it just like, all right, spend another $100 to get this first 6-month DLC bullshit. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. It's me, it's the GREG, the future predictions champion coming up this
liar.
weekend. I'm saying TNA for no surrender, I'll win it. I'll win it no surrender. Now elimination chamber, probably not. But no surrender. I'm the only person here that's been watching the show.
Yeah, because your bitch ass didn't send me the link.
Ah, shit! I forgot. I forgot to send that. I'm sorry, man. I got done with work. I just took my ass right to sleep.
Right now, I gotta watch 6 months of TNA in 24 hours and see what the fuck I can do.
Good. The only thing I like, if y'all don't want to use alternative methods, that that YouTube deal is pretty sweet. It's like $2 a month. Get all that stuff, but I know that the fan appreciation for that company right now is an all-time low.
Exactly.
And we'll get into that today.
So with that being said, yo ho ho, matey.
Exactly. So speaking of TNA, before we get into NXT, damn man, every single day it feels like Anthem is just pissing people off.
Yeah, pretty much. Anthem decided to exercise the contract extension on Josh Alexander. What the fuck? You bitch ass.
which is what we believe Josh Alexander said when he heard the news.
Right, pretty much. Anthem Anthem decided to exercise the contract extension contract option on Josh Alexander's contract after he made it known that he would not like for them to exercise that right, as he wanted to explore free agency, and he was even open to re-signing with TNA. Now with them doing this shit, you better believe he ain't re-signing.
That's the that's the thing, man. Is like, even he was like, even after all this bullshit, I still might stay with y'all anyway. I just don't. I want to see what my options are. And they said, nope, absolutely not.
They pretty much hit him with the fuck you. That's pretty much what they said.
We're talking yesterday about Macklin's contract being up in May, and that we believed that he'd signed a 2-year deal 2 years ago in March, or a multi-year deal 2 years ago in March. So his deal might be coming up in March. I guess we've essentially confirmed that with that news.
Pretty much. So
he's extended through
May.
his injury. The for how long his injury kept him out. And Steve Macklin put up a picture of him and Josh Alexander on Twitter, and had a little hourglass there. Yes, they are. Yes, they're TNA at a whole new level. I don't know, man. It feels like every move they make is just there to anger people right now.
you said something in the chat that they may be the only people that can actually legitimately kill off TNA. What benefit would they get from this? Like, it's not it's not like they're a huge promotion where like we see Vince benefited from selling WWE because of the amount of money that he made and shit like that. TNA is not one of those promotions where you're gonna make a ton of money off of if you sell it. It's been bounced around from station to station.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not uh it's definitely a major player due to the fact that it's on most cable channels, most cable companies. Most cable companies can get access to them so that they can watch them. My thing is, like I said, with WWE, you could with them like firing people and doing shit. You knew it was because they were going to sell it, but they were going to be sold at a high market value. I don't see TNA being sold at a high market value. So what do you get from this besides just wanting to kill off the brand altogether?
Especially not now with them getting rid of the people that were responsible for making it the way it is. But I've seen not wrestling companies, but I've seen movie studios make a whole ass movie, have it ready to go out. It's done. All the extra shit's finished up, and instead they shelve it for tax purposes, and they can never put it out, and it's just gone forever.
So pretty much just to kill it off as a tax write-off?
Kill off as a tax write-off. You will never see anything from the TNA library ever again. In an effort to get a tax write-off. I'm just saying that I've seen multiple movie studios, and WB did this for like a few of their projects on their streaming service. Max has done this as well, where they just have stuff ready to go, and just to say, you know what, it's not worth it. We're just gonna shelve it and never show it. Or they have things that have already released and decide, we don't really want to be the place that has this anymore, but we don't want anybody else to have it. So we're just gonna.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it happens all the time when it comes to Hollywood.
Yeah, so, it does. But
the Batgirl too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the most recent one is the Wile E. Coyote movie they did with John Cena.
Yeah.
And I don't know if all that like legally can be done with the wrestling promotion. I'm not an expert when it comes to like this legal shit, but if there's something like that because Anthem doesn't really give a shit about wrestling.
That's clear.
Yeah, because they never did before. They've had TNA, but they just now brought it under their umbrella, right? So that means that before this point, they didn't give a damn about it, really. So
what the fuck made them change their mind to finally give a damn and say, you know what? We give a damn enough to get rid of this shit.
Probably the fact that every time that TNA had a event, pay-per-view or special or whatever, they were like the top 2 trending thing across all social media. Like they were trending against all kinds of shit.
But that makes okay, then that still makes what Anthem doing makes no sense. Like your company is surviving bullshit. Like y'all had a champ that tried to take your belt hostage, and y'all were like, you know what, fuck you and that belt, we'll get a brand new one. Y'all are one of the few companies that never have a goddamn scandal of some sort. Like the biggest scandal y'all had was fucking Tommy Dreamer in that goddamn
in the Dark Side of the Ring.
Dark Side of the Ring episode, and y'all pretty much slapped him up in the locker room and said, "Bitch, shut the fuck up. Don't ever speak on that again." And he didn't.
Yeah.
drama y'all have had. Y'all have constantly improved your viewings, your ratings, your business margins year by year by year by year. Just
And
for
they've
you
been
to
the most
fucking kill it all?
successful. They've been the most successful thing on Access TV in years. All of their things, and they put out a lot of bullshit. Like the Good Brothers were there, they had their like talking shop specials. You know, they were
Yo,
just so
listen,
horrible, and they were getting views and eyes on them.
I didn't know Access TV was a station I had until TNA was on it. How about that one? I didn't even know that that was a goddamn station until TNA jumped on it.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand. I don't understand.
It I mean, you know, I, there's nothing we can really say about it until unfortunately the dust is eat the rich, fuck the rich. That's just for real. But like there are reasons to do that and try to just like bring this whole thing down. I don't think it's what they're doing. I'm just saying, considering what I've seen in other businesses, I wouldn't be surprised. I think right now what they're trying to do is just cut costs, but also they see now that this is actually a pretty big. It's not WWE AEW big, but it's a very big thing to have under their umbrella. And they
Yeah,
decided, well, now that we know about it and really care about it, we want to make sure one of our guys is putting it in the direction we want it to go in. So
and you
Scott was
could have.
always trying to do better with it and trying to get more money to help him make it better. Is that, well, since Scott is trying to get more money out of it, we need to get rid of Scott to save money.
Here's the thing: like they could, everything that you're saying could have worked. They could have somebody from Anthem come down. We've seen plenty of promotions have that authoritative figure come down from whatever to play a role or impact within the company. We've seen that before on several different levels. Like you could have kept Scotty D and just had that person working for you. The same way WWE did with Nick Khan and Triple H. You could have done exactly that.
Fair enough.
That's why that man is no yeet.
No yeet.
No yeet.
I don't know. We're just gonna have to
They
wait and
could
see
have
what happens, I guess.
they could have legit pulled a Nick Khan and Triple H with Scotty D and Anthony. That's his name, right? Anthony?
Yeah, Anthony
Yeah.
Ciccione. Yeah, have
Yeah.
Scotty D run the wrestling and have him run the business, and just that's it.
They could have legitimately did that, which would have kept the locker room happy, kept the fans happy, and have your business still flowing the way it needs to flow. You can have Scotty D come in and pitch ideas and have Anthony go, let me try to pitch it on a lower scale than what you're doing to see if we can get it through.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. That's really all it takes.
But it's just this is just the business side where they see what they want to see. And
Poor
that's the thing is like
GYV. Poor.
GYV is reportedly loving their time over there at TNA. They're getting a lot of great matches out of it. They're just vibing really well with the locker room. And they've said that like while they kind of want to explore like being independent for a while, they're not opposed to signing with TNA. Or
they like having a base home.
Yeah. Which is great where TNA is really. That's what you go there and you're allowed to pretty much go wherever else you want to go.
But you got a base.
Yeah. But with all this, it wouldn't shock me if, because right now I think it's like it's a per appearance basis. I wouldn't be shocked if after No Surrender we might not see GYV around that much longer. You know?
Yeah.
Tyra Banks up and yelled, we were all rooting for you. Yeah, pretty much. It's so now Josh is going to be more inclined to leave when his deal's up.
New Japan, get ready for your two newest members for Bullet Club or Chaos. I give you Josh Alexander and Steve Macklin, folks.
I said that in our chat. Well, you said that part, but I said about like them being released at the same time or around the same time. If I'm a promotion and I see these two guys get released at the exact same time, that is one of my new tag teams.
If I'm Tony Khan, I'm paying attention to that shit. I'm snatching those two up and I'm putting fucking the North back together with Steve Macklin in it.
Mm.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
It's you got two amazing talents there. Like we said before, as far as like who can go farther singles wise, it's probably Josh just because of his size. But you have they're both very intense. They both work really great styles that promotions outside of the WWE love to death. So they're both going to be pretty sought after. Josh
actually works a pretty good WWE style as well too.
I think he could, but I think people would like him in other places. And he said recently about how he would love to be part of the G1 this year. Mm-hmm. And he's probably gonna be now. for looking at it. I don't know how many months he got added to his deal, but I think you said like it was probably around May. I think that's probably right, close, because he wasn't really out too long for that surgery. Like he wasn't gone a whole lot of time. He was gone. He came back within the same year.
He came back within 2-3 months.
Yeah, it was like April or May that he went out, and he was back in July.
Yeah,
like it was very quick. So I don't know. Well, and there are other big names that are set to go soon this year. And
like you just signed Nick. You just signed Nick Namath. You know what I mean? You just signed Simon Gotch.
Mm-hmm. Which that's a weird one. But
right. you GYV, like you have guys who are going out to indie promotions, getting your company on the map. Like when we was at HOG, and there were a few guys, people who didn't know who Speedball was fighting Swerve. Like the guy sitting next to me, he didn't know. He's like, "Yo, who is that?" I'm like, "Oh, that's my man Speedball, Mike Bailey. He's in Impact TNA." He was like, "Impact TNA? I thought they were done." I said, "Nah, they've been up and running for a while." You get fans like me who's doing word of mouth because we're getting a chance to see our Impact guys and other promotions and stuff, and now you're fucking that over.
Yeah. I think that's the thing is you got the whole fan base upset.
Yeah.
The entire TNA fan base is upset. Here we go. March 24th. Like, yeah, that's not a lot of time. That's not a lot of time. So like
unless they add that shit with his visa to it as well. Shit that he is.
That would be a little bit different. But you saying, you know what? I know you don't want your extension to be done, but we're going to do it anyway. Keep it for like 3 months and just give her some time to think on it. Like that's just gonna. If you would let him do what he wanted to do, you might have got him back. And the only thing I don't know about is this like you're adding on just that time, or is there a 3rd year option that they picked up? Because if that's the case, then he has a year plus left.
If that's the case, you can guarantee he's never signing with them ever again.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah.
Pretty much what you just forced this man to do. You pretty much told this man, hey, there's overtime available if you want it. You know what? I'm probably gonna sign them for the overtime. I just want to see what's going on in my house real quick before I sign up for the overtime. Okay, no problem. Hey, guess what? You're doing overtime tonight.
Yeah, yeah. It's bad
See, that's
management. That's what it is.
right.
That's what it is. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure the more we go on, the more weeks go on, the more we're going to see other talents get more frustrated and more decisions like this happen. I can't see talent. The thing about them signing with TNA is they've always been like really short, like at most 2-year deals.
Yeah. 2-year deals with
Um,
the option to go do whatever the hell you want while you're with them is not a
mhm.
bad deal to sign.
No, and them
Like,
them letting them do that much outside of their company, it only makes them look better. As far
right.
as not only letting you do that, but you're a billboard for them.
Exactly. You're a walking billboard, you're a walking forbidden door to other promotions and stuff like that. Because if you don't think these wrestlers don't make friends with each other in the locker room and stuff, it'd be like, yo, come check out TNA. Come on. So Gringo Loco on TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what?
And
I saw
now
Gringo Loco at House of Glory. The same
yeah,
night that Mike Bailey was there. It was the first time I got to look at Gringo Loco.
that's also what they're doing is the talent are able to go out there and say, hey, you know what? You know who might be good for us to bring in for the next few months? This person I saw at
Mm-hmm.
Hog, or this person I saw at Revolver, or this person I saw somewhere else. I think that's all these reasons are why like that these wrestlers felt like really was a family feeling here. Where normally you hear that you're like, ah, what the family bullshit. But you could tell that was how everyone really felt. And after all this time and after all the shit that they went through, this company as a whole
Stood together.
stood together through thick and thin. And I mean, it was terrible sometimes, to see now
Mm-hmm.
that we're this company is doing things to intentionally piss people off. Because the way that tweet was worded, had me thinking that wasn't something that Josh wanted. I'm gonna go find that tweet real quick. I agree with what you're saying, but I don't think talent would sign a deal that gives the company the option to add an extra year. They normally do in TNA and in a lot of other places.
Yeah,
Now,
it's a major no-no.
yeah,
I, most most sports teams and sports like companies have option in their contracts for their athletes. You know what I mean? That's usually how it works with most sports related contracts. You know what I mean? If you do good, yo, we want to have the option to say, yo, you need to stick around for a little bit longer until we can find a replacement for you, or until we can find the money to really fit you into the budget. You know, that's usually how it goes with most sports um, contracts and stuff like that. So with wrestling now, though, I think it's smart on the company's part because it covers their ass. Because if you have somebody that's signed for a 3-year deal or a 2-year deal and they get injured 6 months into their contract and they're out for a year and a half, what, you're just gonna lose out on that work? You still gotta pay him. So we're just
yeah,
gonna lose out on that? Nah, bro, get in there and work.
yeah.
Now that you heal. Like, it
So,
makes sense.
so here it says TNA Wrestling exercises its option to extend the contract of the Walking Weapon. Um, the way that's worded, it is worded like, yeah, we're deciding to do this, and it wasn't normal. Normally, what they do is
Look at the first
we've come
comment on
to
that.
a
Look at the first
first.
comment. It's you,
Yeah, why
and
does
you
that
put
sound
it on.
so one sided? Yeah, did Josh want the contract to be extended? It normally what they will say is we have mutually come to terms to extend the contract or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. I looked at the Fightful Select report that you had mentioned in the chat, and it further shows what I believe to be how they had lied to them already about Scott's thing being mutual, among other things. There's further deception going on. Per Fightful Select, we're also told internally a re-signs graphic was made for Alexander's announcement before being changed to extended, which means that they were going to make it sound like Josh had agreed and decided to add on another year himself.
Because Josh low-key is the locker room leader. And if they can make the talent think that Josh is behind them, then everybody else can hop on board. Moose and Josh are like the locker room leaders.
Those two, and probably Jordan Grace, maybe.
Right.
Like those three are like the faces of your company, and the ones that people are going to listen to. And apparently, it didn't work today because we've seen some tweets from other talent that are it seems like they're uniting on something. We'll see what that is. We'll see what that is soon enough.
Yeah, he did.
My man got the franchise tag. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah,
pretty much.
Sucks, but that's how the business is played now, I guess. Let's move on to Raw last night,
which was a damn good episode.
Great episode.
A damn good go-home show.
We had discussed the possibility of there being a DQ or two in these two big matches. And you had said you think that the IC title match will have interference but will not be DQ, right? And whatever ended happening is both interference, but they were winners.
And the thing about it is, I called the person that was going to interfere in that IC title match. I said it's going to be Jimmy.
It was Jimmy. Yep.
I said it's going to be Jimmy.
But before we cover that, I want to talk about Drew beating Cody.
I loved it. I loved it because it didn't make Cody look weak.
It didn't. It just adds to the this is the second time that Solo's interfered and ruined Cody's big night. And he's worrying about that going forward. But the importance of this is the first time Cody's been pinned on WWE television since he's been back.
Nice.
He's only been pinned once, and that was at Mania. As far as television goes, he has not been pinned in God knows how long, since when he left the Stardust.
Nice.
And that's a massive W for Drew McIntyre.
A massive W for us is Pat McAfee being on commentary and able to use the goddamn Patron like he does for the NFL.
Bro, so that was didn't Brain used to do that back in the day for a little while? He called it something. I think it's like the brain scan or something. And I was like, man, for a while I kind of wish they kept doing that. Pat's the perfect person to have do that. The perfect person to have do it.
Your man pulled the Madden on us. Quick.
He circled Drew's eyes. Like, you can tell that Drew's kind of trying to figure out what's going on here. And Drew tweets that photo out and says, "Look in my eyes. What do you see?" It's like, oh God, you're so good. You're so good. He does it later. Pat does it later after the R-Truth Judgment Day match, where Priest gets him up for the South of Heaven chokeslam. And he draws the arrow from the mat
up
to
and
the
down.
height.
He goes, that's a long way down, baby.
He does. He's like, that's about 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a long way down. Like, all right, I like this. I like this a lot. This is great. But
and the trajectory of Solo's thumb, the highlighting of Solo's thumb and where it was heading, love it.
God, no, it was. Please keep doing that. Please keep that gimmick going. But Drew, for right now, he still hasn't re-signed.
I don't blame Drew right now. I don't blame Drew because you know why? Drew is becoming the hottest that he's been in a very long time. He's becoming red hot. So by the time they get to Mania, Drew's gonna be scorching because people are either gonna want to see him as champion or they're gonna want to see that match with him and CM Punk. So if that's the case, give me, like my man said, tell him run them checks and give me my money.
Mm-hmm. Batty says Drew's about to ask for 7 figures. Yeah, he might.
Yeah, he
That's
might,
a possibility.
or very high 6.
A very high 6. Drew Galloway and TNA. Yeah, ain't no way.
There ain't no way in hell that's happening. That man will
Look,
definitely go to fucking AEW and make a couple of mil and be world champ.
I don't know how much they were willing to pay for Braun, but Drew's asking price is gonna be way higher than that. That's it's
Right, Drew,
it's not even.
I hate to say it this way, Drew actually has skills, so that asking price is going to be a lot higher. Not saying Braun doesn't, but when compared to the two,
Drew's the better wrestler by far. Yeah, not even close.
Right,
not even close.
Right.
It's just a great thing for Drew. And then after the match, I loved that Drew figures out what happened to Cody before he hit the Claymore, and he gets frustrated about it. You can see him like he's running his hands through his hair, like, "Fuck again! I didn't prove anything because the bloodline messed up the night. Like this is my moment."
He even said it in the promo later. He said, "I heard everybody talking about hypocrite." Drew, first off, Drew is going to Claymore the fuck out of Michael Cole.
Yes. Michael Cole needs to shut his mouth before
Drew is going to Claymore the fuck out of Michael Cole. Because that hypocrite comment, that was all Michael Cole kept saying the whole time. He's a hypocrite.
He's a hypocrite. A hypocrite.
Michael Cole, please don't make that man make you have a heart attack on camera. Okay. Drew, he mentioned it in his promo about how, once again, the bloodline gets involved and stuff like that. So it's all playing into the story. Like I said, this man is red hot right now, and he's doing the smart thing, not signing the money right now, because he's showing them, look how I got everybody eating out the palm of my hand. They either want to, by the time that I'd honestly say about a week before Mania is when we hear about Drew re-signing or not.
Yeah. Because Drew's winning that chamber. He's winning that chamber.
He has no choice at this point.
If he goes into Mania and he hasn't signed, we're going to see him lose. But if he wins, that place is going to go nuts. And I think right now the supposed, unless we hear anything about the possible second match of Cody, Seth, and the Bloodline or whatever, I think right now the idea is that we're going to have the world titles main event both shows. And if that's the case, Drew and Seth on night 1, Cody Roman night 2.
Listen, and if that's the case, one, if not both of those belts are changing hands.
And that's 2 long reigning champions both losing in the same event.
Which would be absolutely perfect because it's a new era. So you'll be changing in the guards. Changing of the guards.
And then who does Priest cash in on? We'll see.
If Priest is smart, he'll cash in on Cody.
Yeah, I don't know if Priest is able to stand up to Drew. He's a big man. I mean, good God, I won't want to be messing with Drew right now. That man is a monster.
Right.
Speaking of Priest, the Judgment Day took on the Awesome Truth and DIY, DIY, not DIY.
Triple H and HB, Gargano and Ciampa.
So we got a little preview of it with Truth talking to one of their interviewers about how he's always felt love from the Judgment Day, and he doesn't know when this turn really happened, and we see more images of him like photoshopped into their pictures. And he's like, then I got saved by DX, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H. And then we see a picture of him talking to DIY, and it's flashing not Shawn Michaels, not Triple H. Thanks for clearing that up for us. I appreciate it. Call him Dicks. Reggie says we got to call him Dicks.
Listen. Last night was the first time Keisha actually paid attention to R-Truth. She was in tears. Over here. She was in tears. She was like, "How long has this been going on?" I said, "Years. You're late." I was like, "You're very late. This has been going on for years. This is why this man is the oldest wrestler in the business, and no one cares because he does this."
I mean, well, shit. Okay. Also, in the ring last night, good God!
Like, first off, the man
barely aged.
First off, the man was. People, let's not forget, it was only a couple of months ago. Truth was out because he was damn near dying and almost had to lose his leg
after a NXT injury.
Yeah,
like. Months ago, he wasn't supposed to be a part of this, and it just happened. It just happened, and it worked.
It worked is not the word.
Truth. That's a testament to Truth's ability as a performer. Because you put like any other like comedy wrestler in any of this shit, and it's going to get old very quick. But Truth. He keeps it fresh, and also he can go.
He really can. Your man is over 50 years old and doesn't look a day over, I'd say, 40. Going in the ring. Hitting some of his old signature moves with the same oomph and height.
He hit that lie detector, like spinning shit like he was still in his 30s. Like, what how the hell?
Like
you just do this
as if he was still Quick.
Yeah. got up just high enough on that axe kick. Like he was nailing his stuff, man. He was flying across the ring. Like, God, you shouldn't be able to be this funny and also this good at your job. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Of course, they had a little DX chop at the beginning of the match, which is, they're just playing into it at this point. Judgment Day ends up winning. Truth almost pins Priest, but it gets broken up. And then Priest does the bell clap, back of the head, get the ears, and then he missed the South of Heaven choke slam like 3 times. 3 times Truth countered it into a pin, into something else. This time he hits it, bam, 1, 2, 3. I've noticed recently that they have not let him hit that what was it called? The arrow or not broken arrow. What was his old finisher called? It was essentially Cody Rhodes' finish.
Yeah, it was the flaming arrow or broken
broken arrow is his like suplex into a slam thing. I can't remember what his old finish was. If anybody in the comments knows. But essentially, Tito, it was essentially his crossroads. And since Cody came back, he has dropped that. South of Heaven is the choke slam. I cannot remember what the fuck that move is called. So now the South of Heaven is now his finish, which is he's tall enough that the choke slam is a great finish. He's got the height for it.
Yep, and the fact that he adds the whole like a sit down slam to it, almost like a sidewalk slam to it, makes it look a little bit more devastating than just your average choke slam.
Oh yeah, and I love me a sidewalk slam, so that really it helps. The Reckoning, yes, Reggie, that's what it was. The Reckoning, that's it. So yeah, no more Reckoning, just South of Heaven, which is great. He's still got a great move set.
Reggie, we about to put you on the payroll for UTR as the second historian behind Matt, because your knowledge is very deep, my brother.
Yeah, that's it. So But they win. Great match, honestly. Ciampa and Gargano are getting over.
Okay, is it me or does it seem like Priest is legit? Every time he beats up Truth, it seems like he's regretting it more and more and more.
Yeah, because up to this point, we had that moment where he's like, I don't like R-Truth, but every time after it was like, I don't want to do this, but you're making me do this. You're making me do this, and I don't want to. Yeah,
Right.
even last night we had moments where he was like, come on, man. Like, you don't have
Even
to be
before, right? Like even before he pinned him, he hit him with the move. The south of the south of heaven. He hit him with the move, and then before he pinned him, he just kind of looked at him like. And you see how Finn was so eager to stand over Truth. He just kind of looked at Finn like, "Chill, don't."
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tito's right in the chat here. We might be seeing a face turn soon for Priest, possibly. I don't know, but I
don't know if that'll work because was he ever really a face even in NXT? He was just a rocker.
He was never a face. He was a tweener. Like he was just he had his personality. He was an ass kicker, and whether you cheered or booed depending on
who he was
facing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think lately, and this is going across all the shows now, more and more WWE cameras are really focusing on the faces of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And like zooming in and making sure like you're not missing this. Look at how they're reacting. They can't hide that expression. And it's stuff that other places have done before. And I'm just kind of glad to see WWE doing it more and more.
You know what I know? They really started focusing in on that with Solo.
Yeah.
That's when they really started focusing in on it. Like,
because that's when you can tell when things were coming, who they were looking at next, who was about to get the boot.
Exactly.
He doesn't really do great on the mic, but he speaks very well with his eyes.
Exactly. And like, of course, they always had the moments that we saw where people would break character. 99% of the time, it was with something with R-Truth. You know what I mean? But Solo is when they started focusing on, like you said, talking, the art of talking without talking. Like, I remember when I forgot what part of the feud where Jimmy was getting ready to attack and Solo just put his arm out like, nah, I got this. Just little things that they were focusing on. Yeah, they're always angry unless they're laughing.
We talked about it last week with Mello and Gacy. About how like you get so much out of their matches and their moments because of Mello gives off so much just from a look, one side glance, and you're like, what he's thinking, you know what he wants to do. Gacy, the more you look at him, the more you just realize how fucking insane he is.
Speaking of Gacy, I did some, not did some digging. It kind of popped up on me. This crazy, like, lunatic character that he's playing is a play off of his indie persona that he had.
A little.
His indie persona was just a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Which we might get to again, but I think right now he's just a wacky face that, just kind of does goofy shit. But I didn't get to see a lot of Gacy in the Indies, but from what I saw once he came up, I think you're right. That's probably
like he had the image that I saw, and then the caption under it and stuff. He had like one of the, I guess, the purge masks.
Yeah,
he had one of those on, and
that's like, always been part of his thing. He's always really
So it was like, oh, okay, well maybe if they do go that route, let's see where it goes. Maybe this is the beginning of it.
Yeah, I think that they were trying to make him do something different when we had the schism,
Mm-hmm.
and they realized we didn't let him get wacky enough. We didn't let him like really. He was very calm and very just like mellow, and let the others kind of do the aggression form. Like we didn't really let him off the
Yeah,
hook as much as we should have.
yeah, they should have.
And now it's working out a little bit. He's even though he's losing matches, people I'm more interested in him now than I was last year.
Yeah, yeah.
We also had a big return last night when we had the what we thought was a 5-woman like gauntlet to see who would get in the match. It ended up being a 20-woman battle royal. I could have sworn that they had said last week it was a 5-woman gauntlet to see, or maybe
Yeah.
6 if Chelsea got in. And even when we looked at it last night on the website, it didn't say battle royal. We didn't say 20-woman battle royal.
Not until 10 minutes of the show into the show, it said battle royal.
Yeah, so we ended up getting like a 20-woman battle royal, and we saw the return of Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, Raquel's back.
Shut up. Shut up. Yeah, we had Raquel.
What? All I said is Raquel's back.
I mean, yeah, you did. That is what you said.
That's all I said. Raquel's back. Take that however you want.
She had a decent little pop for her return. I think the biggest pop probably went to Zelina. I'm sorry, not Zelina. God, who came out for Natty? My mind's going blank. Good God.
I can't remember as well. I smoke too much to remember that shit, brother. You know that.
But anyway, no, like it was a decent match. We had Tegan and Natty do the reverse of the Rumble spot where Tegan eliminated Natty at the Rumble. So this time Natty did that to Tegan. They're still friends. All right, thank you, Tito. So it was Zelina. Yes, Zelina.
That's why I said
big pop.
I said I thought Zelina would fucking win it. That's why I had Zelina up there as one of the potentials. Then when she went out, I was like,
she's not gotten a lot of big wins or anything since her lost to Rhea last year at Backlash, but people still love her.
Yeah.
So they need to take advantage of that before that goes away.
Technically, can't she still go by Queen Zelina? They haven't had another Queen of the Ring tournament. Is she still the queen of it?
They haven't had a King or Queen of the Ring tournament since when was that? 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was about to say,
wasn't that the same year that that Woods won?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a long time since we've done those tournaments. So yeah, she can still call herself that.
I think those tournaments would do great if they started let's add some NXT people into it.
Oh yeah, and make these tournaments last longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you got enough people here to like,
how they
like
used
a month-long thing. Yeah, it's a month-long thing. Finals at whatever pay-per-views that month, but it should be a month-long deal. So Raquel gets some big eliminations, and she ends up eliminating Shayna and then Zoe, and then Chelsea Green almost gets her at the end by sneaking back in. There you go. So Raquel wins. So now there's 5 faces and there's 1 heel in the Elimination Chamber match. I was curious what we were going to be building up to as far as that goes, and then we get the Chamber segment itself. All the competitors come into the ring. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're right.
Becky, and then I'm trying to remember the exact order it was. It was Becky, and then it was, let's see, who's in it? Becky, Bianca, Tiffany, Liv. It was Liv. Becky and Liv. Liv comes in
Becky
next.
And Liv.
Get
Naomi.
Then you get Naomi, and then you get
Tiffany.
Tiffany, and then we get Raquel, and then we get Bianca, and they're all talking about what they can bring. And you would say something about Liv, maybe you or Tito said something about Liv maybe being the one to like play another heel in the match.
She has no choice at this point.
Yes, she's gonna be, I guess, the more aggressive person in the match. But we were wondering, like, what the? It kind of feels like there's not a lot of heat in this, and then
my baby Nia comes. My baby Nia comes and just beats the monkey shit out of every person there. Everybody.
She catches them while they're all fighting each other and just flattens them. And again, this is how you should have been using Nia for years. Like, I don't understand why we weren't just doing this from the get-go.
You know what?
Instead of having her lose like 5-minute pay-per-view matches that she shouldn't be losing, and then becoming a joke for 2 years. It's just
my whole
So she flattens everyone in the chamber match because they were all overlooking her, because everybody's promo was about Rhea Ripley. Every person was talking about how they were looking to get through the chamber to get to Rhea, and that the only person that kind of didn't really say they were looking through everybody was Raquel, who said, "You have to remember that it might not be Rhea, it might be Nia." Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Like, I think one of her first big main roster pay-per-view matches was like a 5-minute loss to Sasha that she should have won, because it's like it's a common thing we get pissy about here. Raquel says that it doesn't matter what happens, who wins, because I'm going to run through the chamber, and then yada yada yada. But Nia was overlooked by everybody in that ring. She comes out and makes a statement.
Looking good too, making that statement.
I saw people that hated it. That's because the people that hated it were the people that always hate Nia segments.
Right. At this point, you can't hate her. At this point, if before your thing was, oh, she was too reckless, she's hurting people, this and that, you don't have that argument now. Now you don't have that argument.
No one's been hurt yet.
No one's been hurt. She's even has gone as far as letting herself be picked up and slammed
by somebody who is green.
Right.
She took her chops. And the people that, people always talk about her and Kyrie, and
let's be realistic, people. I'm sorry. I know if you take a feather and a brick and you put them both in front of a breeze, which one is going to move further? The feather, correct? Kyrie is 68 ounces soaking wet with 8 feathers in her pocket.
But she's been Nia has been defended by the roster on multiple occasions. Kyrie's tag partner Asuka has defended Nia Jax. Like, if there's somebody that's gonna have try to say that about what happened and get upset about it, it would be her friend and tag partner. But last year, I think it was back in September, she had mentioned that people kind of just give Nia unfair and pretty harsh treatment, especially online, especially in an age where one of her biggest stories was about cyberbullying, about bullying in general. And we live in a really tough time where cyberbullying really affects people horrendously mentally. And we've seen a lot of people, unfortunately, it's gotten to them in the worst of ways. And there are people that get upset about that kind of thing, and then go and say the same shit to Nia. And it sucks. It sucks. I don't think she deserves a quarter of the hate she gets.
Not even.
I don't think she's the greatest wrestler, but I don't think she deserves the fucking hate she gets. It's ridiculous.
It's just, also
go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Also, at the end of the day, folks, This is a sport, an athletic event. You know what happens at athletic events? All athletic events? An injury. It doesn't make a difference what athletic event it is. There's going to be injuries at times. People will get hurt. And it's not on purpose. Unless it's, boxing or UFC, or unless it's a combat sport where their intention is to hurt somebody. Injuries happen. Mistakes happen. That can't be held forever. Just like with fucking Ridge and Big E. As much as we wanna as much as we wanna as much as people wanna hold Ridge responsible and be like, oh, he's unsafe, this and that. Shit happens. Big E even said, yo, don't don't hate this man. It, don't get me started on that one.
Yeah, this is a fuck Quincy pod, 100%.
Fuck that bitch.
But yeah, man, it's just throw away whatever preconceived notions and feelings you have about Nia from the last run, and just fucking what they're doing with her now. What they're doing with her now is great. You be like, oh, she's on my screen. Like, it. Don't be that person about any wrestler. Just try to enjoy it, because I promise you, if you do that, you're gonna get a lot more out of it. I used to be that person. I used to be, and it made it very hard to enjoy wrestling.
I will not be. I am not going to be a hypocrite and say, "Hey, I will do that with CM Punk."
We all have our wrestlers. We all have our wrestlers that we try to. Yeah, that's.
I am not going to be a hypocrite and say that with CM Punk.
Many times I've like, remember when Braun first showed up and I was like, this guy is green as shit. He's only here because he's big, and I hated everything about him. And then one month I was like, I'm just gonna let's just watch his stuff and just not be a hater. And
it took me longer to get on the Braun Breaker train than it took any of us.
No, Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah. Braun Strowman. You were.
I hate.
You were dead set. You were dead set against him. Once they actually let him do something outside the Wyatt family, you were not with it.
I wasn't. But then one day I was like, you know what? I'm not being fair. I'm not being fair. So let's just watch this and see, and try to not be angry about it happening, because it's going to happen whether I want to or not, and just see what happens. And I fucking loved it. And there's a lot of wrestlers that Kenny, that I didn't like when I first saw them.
To the moon.
Spaghetti Man. Like, a lot of people that I'm just like, I hate this guy from day one. I don't want to hear anybody say anything. And I have to basically force myself to get over that feeling. And then once I do, except for Mojo, but that's nothing personal against Mojo. I just, in a ring, never want to see it again. But nothing personal against him as a person. But just, I promise you, if you're one of those people that feels that way about Nia, you don't know any of these people personally. So just, if they're saying they're okay with her being there, then just fucking take a breath, take a breather, let it go, and just give it a chance. Give it a chance. Well, that's all we're asking.
Then
the main event.
Hold on, we also had an awesome match with Ivar and Chad Gable.
Oh yeah,
we'll
did.
Talk about that. We'll talk about that in depth on Thursday, because I want to really talk about that match.
Yeah,
I want to really talk about that match.
We spent way too much time on other stuff. We need to get to the NXT. So real quick, we're gonna wrap up the rest of this, and we'll talk more about this stuff on Thursday. Ivar Gable being one of them. Incredible match. Go out of your way and watch it. If you haven't, great stuff. Gable, my God, and Ivar, just Jesus. I don't want to say, this sounds meaner than I mean it to be. I think that injury to Eric might have been one of the better things that happened to Ivar's career.
It really is.
They're just letting that man
showcasing.
Go.
They're showcasing him and letting him just.
It's what
go out there and cook, big man.
It's what they should do when someone's tag partner gets injured instead of you just don't see him for a while. You know, I think we give AEW a lot of shit, but I think AEW did great when
With
like we would see one
FTR.
of the Martin FTR, or we'd see one of the guys from Top Flight get hurt, and we just see the other
Mhm.
guy just go off on singles tears, or you see Darius out there with Action Andretti. You still saw them, you know.
Mhm.
I like the WWE's finally doing that. Like, yeah, they're split. He doesn't have his partner right now, but he is still. You sign him for a reason.
Right. And Big Man is
And
letting you know that guess what? We are worth the money.
so we'll talk about that more on Thursday. We'll also talk about the main event, but real quick, Gunther and Jay had a banger.
Gunther chopped the soul out of Jay's body.
Midair. Going off that top.
Yo, he hit Jay in the chest, and I swear it paused and it said, at this moment, he knew he fucked up.
When he chopped Jay out of the air, Jay falls down, and you get 2 seconds of Gunther looking at him like, shit. That might have been too hard.
You idols? That's what he hit him with the.
But
You
man,
idols?
Jay is a great. This is a weird thing to say about Jay. Jay is a great underdog.
And which is why when he does finally win the Intercontinental Championship, it's gonna be great. Jay right now is face Roddy Piper.
Mm.
So when he finally does win his first solo title, it's gonna be big.
It is. And that crowd's gonna be
That crowd is
on
gonna
their feet. On their feet, all of them. It's gonna be great. But again, we'll talk about that more on Thursday. But yeah, honestly, overall, Raw, fucking A+. Great show.
great go home show.
One of the best Raws we've seen in a very long time. And honestly, we've had a lot of great Raws this year.
Mm-hmm.
Past 2 months have been stellar for Monday nights. Let's talk about NXT. And one thing we know about, because this is a tape show, because clearly they're going to Australia, so a lot of the talent that are on that show had to be in Australia as well. So tonight's show is taped. So if you've seen spoilers, then you know what's happening. We're going to talk about one right now. Unfortunately, there's an injury tonight.
Yeah.
In a championship match.
Shots.
So there are 2 title matches tonight. One being Oba Femi defending against Lexis King.
NXT crowd, don't let me down. Show me that racism.
I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this with Kenny on Thursday.
I'm not even going to bring it up on Thursday because I know what's happening. So at this point, I just got to kind of accept it, which is terrible.
I'm hoping that Oba wins that. I haven't looked at actual like results yet because I don't want to spoil myself, but I hope Oba wins because he's getting a lot of reactions, and you don't want to cool it off at any point right now. The match that I am most looking forward to, though, are my boys, the country boys that have split up Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen in a one-on-one. It's going to be a brawl, baby. This is going to be like 80s
it's gonna be
old
a barn burner, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is going to be. You got Magnum TA Jr. versus
JBL's nephew. My question is, what is I'm not getting my hopes up that they're gonna have the song, but I remember when that video first played on Twitter of him coming out of that Journey song, and it was like, oh my god, this is perfect. Oh my god, this is a great entrance. What is Jensen's music needs to be good.
What the shit?
All right, we're gonna ignore that one. Jensen is, I think he's great, and like you said, he has a striking resemblance to Magnum TA. I mean, good lord, he looks just like him. That's why I think that, hey, WWE, you have the money, just pay the rights.
Pay for it.
Just pay the rights. Yeah. You got Tony Khan buying like 16 different like legendary classic rock songs or whatever. Like, get one for yourself.
Exactly. Let
That'll
that
be a
man
fun
come
one,
out
though. I
to
can't wait.
let that man come out to some journey.
It better not be some basic ass bullshit that we get from Def Rebel that is just remixed half Austin Theory, half whatever hype Caden Carter crap. It needs to be different, please. It has to be different. We're also gonna see Roxanne Perez, and I guess her heel turn, taking on Ren Sinclair.
Okay.
I'm more excited to see what Ren can do, because I know she's a former NWA Tag Team Champion. I didn't watch her in NWA. That was after I kind of fell off of that promotion. So I don't know a lot about her. I just know where she's from. So I'm hoping we get some good stuff from her tonight. I believe this might end up starting the show. Lyra Valkyria defends the NXT Women's Championship against Shotzi Blackheart. This is the match that unfortunately will not happen.
Man down. Woman down.
I don't know when it happens, but I think it happens during the match. Shotzi tears her ACL. So we're going to have somebody else come out and challenge, and it's going to be fine. It's not going to be a big, exciting title match. What it is going to be is a test for that new challenger. This will probably be her biggest match of her career so far. And it's throwing her into the water because they're not really taught to just kind of throw shit together and kind of go off of the feeling and call it in the ring right now. This is going to be Lash Legends' first time doing that.
On the fly.
And I think the fact that they trusted her to do, because they had other women back there that could have done it. The fact that they trusted her to do this,
it's big.
It's big, and I think we might be seeing the real start of the big Lash push over the next few years. She's not going to be a champion this year.
No.
This is her big test to see what she can do when she's thrown into the fire. And lately, she's been great. She's been incredible.
Listen, they gave us
this is the chance.
They gave us something to. Her slamming Otis was them saying, "Hey, pay attention to her. She's next up for us. Pay attention. She's our next star." And the thing about it is, we all became blinded by the enamor and the allure of Jade coming, that Lash just kept getting better and better and better in plain sight, but unseen. So, like you said, it's showing that somebody back there was seeing and was like, "Yo, put Lash in there. Put Lash in there." Oh yeah, this is definitely a pro Lash chat. Hey, we love us some Lash over here. Because we've honestly watched her progression, and we enjoy wrestling, and we enjoy seeing someone progress from one character to another and how they come up. We genuinely enjoy the storytelling behind wrestling. So yes, this is a pro Lash chat. Yes.
Lash is one of those people that we saw the potential, but also them putting her in a match that early was a terrible idea. Luckily, it was on Level Up, so not a lot of people saw it. It was bad. It was very bad. But that was her first match. She'd been training for like a few months. Like she barely knew what she was doing. To now, she's becoming like one of the most exciting reasons to watch NXT. She's great. She is. And when I looked at her, I thought the same thing that I thought about two other women. I remember a few years ago, I saw AEW had Layla Hirsch and WWE had Zoe Stark come out on the same week. And they both got their asses kicked. But I was like, those are both really they're going to be really important later. Like you can tell there's something there. You just got to work it out. You got to just bring it out of them.
We saw Layla Hirsch in Impact. That's what got us.
Yeah.
That's what got us first. Like, yo, who is this little pit bull out here? Like, who is Layla Hirsch? And then
belly to belly suplexes and locking in ankle lock and shit. Like, whoa, like another Taz. And not Lash isn't that in the same way. Like I didn't look at Lash and see like, oh, great wrestling ability. But what I did see was the character that's like was about to just break out.
Great sports entertainer.
Yes. And her being with Noam Dar, I think has really helped her on the other side of things. And has also kind of helped Noam with his crazy ass gimmick that we love. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what Lash can do tonight. I really hope it goes well, because if it does, what we're looking at is one of the best stories for the PC, where you get somebody that had no business being in the ring to someone that they rely on when shit goes south.
Right. Here's the thing. Low key, people want to make fun of him and say he's not a professional wrestler or whatever. You want to be the Miz.
Absolutely.
You want to be that person that when shit goes left, company goes, yo, bring the Miz out. He can handle this. We can give him a belt. He can run with it for a little bit until we figure out what the fuck is going on. And then we can take it off of him. It won't make him look bad. And then you want to be reliable. Oh, we got a celebrity coming in. Who's the safest person that we know that will not hurt this celebrity but make them look great? Give me Miz. If you can get to that status, you would like you can make fun of Mike Mizan and all you want. That man is paid. That man is paid. That man is low-key a legend. Yeah. When you think about it.
He's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
And Lash can get there. She's got the character down. She does. She's got the talking down. She's got it all down. She just has to get the other stuff. And in her recent matches, the stuff that she's done has been great. So let's see what she can do when she's forced to do something that she's not ready for. Can she adapt? This is also a test for Lyra Valkyria. Can she lead Lash in this match? If this fails, it's on both people. If it succeeds, it's on both people. I don't want this to fail and it all go on Lash. It takes two to tango.
Damn sure it does.
And I also don't want it to all go on Lash if she wins, or if that wins. If she succeeds, it takes two. So if this ends up being good, we need to give both of them their flowers.
Exactly.
That's about it for NXT. So we'll see what happens tonight. We'll be back tomorrow for Here Comes the Boom. Kenny, I believe you said you'd be off tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So I think Matt or Tito will be joining me tomorrow. We'll get into Dynamite, and hopefully nothing else crazy happens with TNA. But who the fuck knows at this point, really? It's
there's still hours in a day, brother. There's still hours in the day.
bro, the only company right now that's not going through bullshit is AEW, which is amazing.
Right.
Considering everything, kind of incredible. So let's knock on wood. Everybody cross your fingers and cross your toes when you go to bed tonight that nothing weird happens tomorrow. You wanna read us off, brother?
Folks, don't forget to follow us at facebook.com/Under the Ring Pod and twitch.tv/Under the Ring Pod. You can also find us at Linktree/Under the Ring Pod, where you'll find our handles. You'll find our boy, the writer, the man, the journalist, Mr. Greg Bush SK. Go and follow that man and give him them clicks. You also got me out here taking pics. Rock Red 44, also making complaints. Old man yelling at clouds. That's me.
We're gonna get you the shirt.
Then we gonna forget our boy Mike, Mr. Fresh Bid. Then we got our boy Matty, the man with the beer in his hand, the right answer. Our street team captain, Boriel Maliente, and local correspondent, Justin D. Baxley. Folks, thank you once again for joining us. There's wrestling on every night of the week, folks. So there's no reason for anyone to say, "Oh, this promotion is better than that." There's wrestling on every night of the week. Enjoy it.
Yeah, right.
Just enjoy it.
And you know what, folks? Just have a good night.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Hey.
We'll see you next time.
Scotty D.